Welcome back to another video, guys. Today we are going to be talking about the new MM2 jump codes that I just found. Now, I really don't want you guys to think that I was like selfish or something. Because I was like, hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm gonna review this new MM2 glitch that I found. Like, do not worry about that. I'm only here to cover and just review the physics like a nerd. Alright? So let's delve into it right now. So, from the video you just saw, I jumped on these two kids. They got gangbanged. Oh my god. Okay, don't demonetize me, please, YouTube. So I gangbanged these two guys, yes, and I jumped on them, and I got sent all the way to space. That's it. That's a hyperbole. No, I didn't really get sent to space, but we got pretty high. Now we're gonna be covering how this actually works, and also please make sure to not actually like use this as official information when you're trying to teach people about this if you want, because this is not official. I literally just found this, and I'm just trying to make a theory about it because on my knowledge of Roblox Studio, I think I could find something and know how this works. So when I'm coming to this entity, if you would call it, these two entities, you could call it player model if you're just this savvy Roblox studio guy, or you could just call it player. So, player, excuse my bad handwriting, can't even read. So, player, these two. So these two guys are players. So, what's important about these things is that the players are considered parts in the Roblox studio, like their head, their torso, their arms, all that kind of stuff. Head, torso, arms, legs, all that stuff. So those things are parts. And the special thing about MM2 is that they use R15. Now, if you don't know what R15 is, just think about R6 or what I like to call it, the very controversial R pack, which is what I call pedophile package. I think it's R32 or something. I really don't want to talk about it, but if you are that weird, then alright, just think of it as that. But the thing about this, R15, is that there are more parts that are used in the animation. When there's an R6 character, there's usually just 6 blocks. A head, torso, arms, legs, another leg. 6 parts. One, two, three, four, five, six. 6. But the thing with R15 is that there's 15 parts. Most likely, I haven't really done my research, I'm sorry guys, but like, you can really make a correlation. R6, 6 parts. You can probably assume that R15 Avatar has 15 parts. And also, I cannot really draw out this R15 because that's going to be really hard and it's going to make it look really messy, if it already isn't messy right now. So we're not going to try to draw it, but just imagine a player with 15 other parts. So you can see like a little like ligaments, if you like to call it, little ligaments. You got kind of attached right here. Legs, they kind of make it fold like this little leg bend. This little leg bends. Those could be considered ligaments if you want, or other parts. One, two, three, four. 4 parts. But in R6 is only 2, because it goes very straight walking. Never going to be as complex as R15. But the thing with this is that when in R15, when something is more complex, that means there are more parts, right? We already discussed this. And when there are more parts, that means in this case with jumping, when you jump on more parts, you are sometimes flung off a bit. So sometimes when you jump on a player, or I not know if you've ever done that, but you may have, and you might see yourself getting flung off a bit. You jump, and then you get flung off. Now why is that? Because parts have edges. They have these little edges. Vertices, whatever you want to call it, if you want to be really math savvy. Vertices, edges, you want to do all that. So, you bump onto these edges, And when you bump onto those edges, your body kind of acts like a real gravity of sorts. Roblox physics is not really as realistic, but it's pretty good. So it's kind of like so for in this case, when you fall on this edge, it's kind of like your body just falling onto it and then just getting like returned back in the similar force, like Newton's third law. Equal force, equal outcome. That's what happens. So with that equal force and equal outcome, you were sent back at a similar distance from how far you jumped. And if you made it, you'd be sent back around the same amount of distance you jumped from. And the thing with that and this jump glitch is that they are very similar to each other. It doesn't really seem similar because this seems more like a hack, but let me assure you, it's really similar. So, in this case, when I'm jumping onto this player, they have a bunch of parts. Not these avatar items. These avatar items are collidable, which means they are practically invisible in terms of parts, which means they don't really allow you to jump on them. But these player parts in this R15, all these little edges, you bump into all of them and then you can go flying. Now, what you would expect is that, hey, Changu, I just exposed myself. Shit. Anyway, hey, man, Textula, when you jump onto this Roblox person, what did you get flung everywhere? Because there's a bunch of edges. There's one here, one here, one here. So the Roblox system would definitely be messed up, right? Well, not exactly. They are very high angled, which means they're not going to be like this. So when you jump on them, you're not gonna get like flung around over here. They're more this and this. Now you think this is worse, but not really. Because the thing with Roblox is that symmetry is everywhere. When you jump onto this, you're jumping onto these two parts, most likely, and you're probably going to go in a straight line. Why? Symmetry, like I said. So this symmetry at the same angle, you can see this is going in the same angle. We can give a parallel line in comparison. This is going at let's say 89 degrees. 89 degrees, and let's say this is equal to. This is also 89 degrees. And then this is going to be a little bit impossible because 89, 89, that's not really possible because of this huge gap. But who knows? Geometry is great. So, anyways, these two angles are 89 degrees. If you jump perfectly onto them, then these two angles practically cancel each other out. And when they cancel out, they're kind of jumping up only. Now, I'm gonna repeat myself there. I just said nonsense. But anyway, when you jump onto this, you are practically jumping onto these three parts, but these two angles that are carrying you this way and that way are canceled out. Because one's trying to go here, but one's also trying to go here. And because Roblox can't decide, they're just gonna bounce it out. Which is my theory. I can't really access how that works. I could probably access, but I'm just a little bit too retarded to do that. But when that happens, you are most likely having all those forces canceled out, but one primary force going up. Because you're not going down. That's not really how edges work. If you were going down, then that means a part was here and you were up here, and you probably went up here. But that still would not matter because these edges are perfectly designed that your Roblox character cannot just go Spider-Man hanging like this little. You can't hang under. You cannot do that. You must hang above. So the Roblox just forces your body to be up here, always making sure that an upward motion is always made when you jump. Now, coming back to these forces being canceled out. When these forces are canceled out, there are multiple forces of going up applied. One, this parallel straight edge. That seems obvious enough. You're probably gonna go up because it's straight. That's not really wrong. Anyway, it's straight like this, and up is up, so you're going up. Correct. You're going up, you're gonna go up. If you jump on top, you're going up. If you space bar, I can't even draw correctly. Who cares? If you space bar, you jump up, and you're gonna keep jumping up. But the cool thing about this is that there may be a part where you can actually multiply those forces. There's because one part here has this angle, right? But it's also, like I said, carrying a upward force. It might be smaller than this little small edge, than this little edge, but it gets practically either multiplied or added, which makes you jump super high. And when you jump when you apply all those forces, it makes a lot of sense why you would be going up pretty high. Now, in this picture, I actually jump on the side of this humanoid or entity. Now, why is that? Because it still carries me upwards. Now, what's happening? Well, the thing with arms is that although these angles are also a little bit disoriented, so this, let's say this arm and this the torso, humanoid, whatever you call it, the person, you jump on, and then you get flung up. How? So, when you jump onto this humanoid, you have that main edge, correct? You have this main edge right here. And now the thing is, some parts in the R15 are also non-collidable. I mean, collidable, which means, like I said, they're transparent in terms of touching. Yes, touching. In terms of actually interacting, which means you can walk through them, which also explains how invisible doors work in Roblox. So these parts, they practically don't exist. But there's also these other parts. And like I said, they have angles. They have a little bit of angles. But they're symmetrical, which is pretty cool. So when they are symmetrical like this, like I said, there's forces here, but they can cancel it out when you jump straight on them. Which is why if you jump at this little corner, that's not really going to happen because you have one force right here, which is going to carry you a little bit away, which is why you get which is why you get that signature bouncing back right here. I'm gonna make that a little bit more obvious. You got back, and that's why that corner doesn't work. But I jump directly on this side, so like I said, this arm does not work. It's not really gonna contribute to the jumping process most likely. But these little in between parts may work. Now, you may see this as contradictory. And yes, that is a little bit contradictory. But when I said six parts, I did not say that all of these six parts are going to contribute to jumping in R6 avatars. These arms can also be not used unless the developer allows it, which is rarely seen. They leave it as the default settings, which means these arms will not count towards the side movements, force, whatever. So, if that arm does not count, then that means this edge is only working, which is why you can also get flung backwards again, because you cannot go straight up. When there is a ledge, if you jump onto it, what's gonna happen? You have the tendency to fall over the other way. That's just Newton's third law. You apply force, force is gonna be coming back to you. Air, resistance, all that stuff. So let's return back to our 15 model right here. This arm is invisible, like I said, and when you jump onto it, there's these random parts, symmetrical, which carry greater force with this additional side on this torso of the entity. So we can make it a little bit more 3D. You're initially interacting with this part, and then you're also interacting with these angled parts. And like I said, when they are symmetrical, their forces are going to cancel out when you're perfectly on top or kind of close. Like I said, this is could be 89 degrees, whatever. And but if it's like 87.5 and let's say 90.5, I don't really think it's gonna care about that. No, Roblox ain't really gonna care. Now also I'm being really dumb right now. I have no clue what I'm doing. I'm just trying to explain to you guys how this works. So these angles are probably not correct. Uh, but this is essentially how it works. You have angles involved, you have forces involved. That's pretty much it. And also general logic. As when you jump, you do not get sent flying in the air. You have to do something that kind of destroys the Roblox system and makes it send you upward. So, guys, you should try that out in R15. I would really like to see if this works. Try to send me videos in the comments. That'd be great. Thank you very much, and have a great day. Also, this is one of my news videos, so it don't really expect too much out of it. But I'm trying as hard as I can as a professional math nerd. Well, see you guys next time. Bye bye.